3 months ago, I made a decision that changed everything. I decided to study the daily habits of wealthy people and actually start following them. Not just reading about them, but doing them. What happened next shocked me. I didn't just change my morning routine or my daily schedule. I completely transformed how I think, how I work, and how I handle my time and money. Today, I'm going to show you exactly which rich people's habits I started following, and the incredible results I've seen in just 90 days. And the best part? None of these habits require you to already be wealthy. These are things you can start doing today, no matter where you are financially. Let me take you back to where this all started. I was scrolling through Instagram late one night, looking at these successful people living their best lives, when something hit me hard. These people weren't just lucky, they were different. They thought differently, acted differently, and lived differently than most people I knew. I started noticing patterns. While I was hitting the snooze button 6 times every morning, these people were up at 5 a.m. While I was scrolling social media during lunch breaks, they were reading books and learning new skills. While I was binge-watching Netflix after work, they were building side businesses and investing in themselves. But here's what really got me. I realized I was doing exactly what 95% of people do, and then wondering why I wasn't in the top 5%. I was following the crowd instead of following the successful. I was choosing comfort over growth. I was picking entertainment over education. That's when I made a decision that would change everything. Instead of just admiring successful people from afar, I decided to start studying them. Not just their success stories, but their daily habits, their routines, their mindsets. I spent hours watching interviews, reading biographies, and analyzing patterns. What I discovered was shocking. These wealthy individuals weren't doing anything complicated or impossible. They weren't born with special powers or extraordinary talents. They just had different habits, different daily routines, different ways of thinking about time, money, and success. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all these successful people I'd been studying. What made them different? What were they doing that I wasn't? So I did something crazy. I started tracking every single habit of wealthy people I could find. What I discovered was mind-blowing. These people weren't just lucky. They weren't born special. They simply had different daily habits that shaped their entire lives. While I was hitting snooze 6 times every morning, they were up at 5 a.m., reading and learning. While I was scrolling social media during lunch breaks, they were networking and building relationships. But here's what really hit me. 88% of wealthy people spend at least 30 minutes every day reading. Not watching Netflix, not scrolling TikTok, reading. And 92% of highly successful people have a solid morning routine. These weren't just random coincidences. These were patterns of success. That's when I made a decision that would change everything. Instead of just admiring successful people from afar, I decided to start copying their habits. Not just 1 or 2 habits, but their entire approach to daily life. Their morning routines, their learning habits, their mindset, everything. Let me break down exactly which rich people's habits I started following and the incredible impact they had. These aren't just random habits. These are proven patterns of success that transformed my entire approach to life. First, I adopted what successful people call the early riser advantage. Instead of hitting snooze 6 times every morning, I started waking up at 5 a.m. This wasn't just about waking up early. It was about having uninterrupted time to prime my mind for success before the world started making demands. Then, I implemented the knowledge-first principle. Here's what shocked me. 88% of wealthy people spend at least 30 minutes every day reading. Not scrolling social media, not binge-watching Netflix, but actually reading books about self-improvement, business, and success. This one habit completely transformed how I think about personal growth. But here's what really changed everything. I started treating my personal finances like a business. Instead of randomly spending money, I began tracking every dollar like a CEO would track company expenses. Successful people don't just earn money, they manage it with precision and purpose. The game changer was adopting what wealthy people call living below your means. While everyone else was trying to look rich, actual wealthy people were avoiding overspending by saving 20% of their income and living on the remaining 80%. This wasn't about being cheap. It was about being smart with money. Then came the network effect. I discovered that successful people spend at least 5 hours every month networking and volunteering. They understand that real wealth isn't just about what you know. It's about who you know and how you can add value to others. But perhaps the most powerful habit was what I call the goal setter's advantage. Unlike the 97% who just wish for better things, 70% of wealthy people actively pursue at least one major goal every year. They don't just dream. They set specific targets and create action plans to achieve them. Let me show you exactly how to implement these rich people's habits, starting today. No complicated strategies, just real, actionable steps that can transform your life. First, create your power morning routine. Wake up at 5 a.m. like successful CEOs. But here's the key. Don't just set an early alarm. Create a morning ritual that includes 30 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of exercise, and 15 minutes of planning your day. This isn't about torturing yourself. It's about giving yourself an advantage before most people even wake up. Next, implement what I call the knowledge first system. Dedicate at least 30 minutes every day to reading educational material. Here's the crucial part. 79% of wealthy people read career-related content, 55% focus on personal development, and 58% study biographies of successful people. No more mindless scrolling. Make every minute count. Then set up your goal achievement protocol. Write down your goals and create detailed action plans. But here's what most people miss. Break these goals into daily tasks. What's the one thing you can do today that moves you closer to your biggest goal? Create your wealth-building habits. Start living on 80% of your income and automatically invest 20%. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about prioritizing your future wealth over temporary pleasures. Set up automatic transfers so you never see this money in your checking account. Finally, establish your network expansion system. Successful people spend at least 5 hours monthly networking and volunteering. Join professional organizations, attend industry events, and most importantly, focus on adding value to others' lives before asking for anything in return. Let me show you exactly what happened when I started following these rich people's habits. After just 90 days of implementing these wealthy habits, the transformation was incredible. Month 1 was eye-opening. Just by implementing the knowledge first principle and reading 30 minutes daily, I gained more practical knowledge than I had in the past year. My productivity skyrocketed because I was waking up at 5 a.m. like successful CEOs, giving me 3 extra hours of focused time every day. By month 2, the changes became even more apparent. Created my first detailed financial plan. Started tracking every expense meticulously. Cut unnecessary spending by 67%. Began networking at professional events. Established clear, written goals for the year. Month 3 showed the biggest transformation. By living below my means and saving 20% of my income, I built my first ever emergency fund. My productivity doubled because I was spending less time on social media and more time on personal development. Most importantly, I started thinking and acting like the wealthy do, making every decision based on long-term value rather than short-term pleasure. But here's what's really incredible. By month 6, these habits weren't just habits anymore. They had become my lifestyle. I wasn't just copying rich people's behaviors. I was developing a wealthy mindset. Instead of watching TV, I was reading about investments. Instead of scrolling social media, I was networking with successful people. The biggest win wasn't even about money. For the first time in my life, I had clarity about my future. I wasn't just dreaming about success. I was taking daily actions to create it. My goals weren't just wishes anymore. They were detailed plans with specific deadlines and action steps. Listen, I'm not some millionaire trying to tell you how to live your life. I'm just someone who finally realized that success leaves clues, and wealthy people's habits aren't just random coincidences. They're proven patterns of success. Remember how I started this story? Scrolling through Instagram late at night, wondering why I couldn't achieve the same success? That person feels like a stranger now. Not because I suddenly got rich, but because I finally started thinking and acting like successful people do. Here's what I want you to do right now. Yes, right now. Pick just one of these wealthy habits to start tomorrow morning. Maybe it's waking up early. Maybe it's reading for 30 minutes. Maybe it's tracking your expenses like a CEO. Start with one habit, master it, then add another. Because remember, wealthy people aren't born different. They just make different choices every single day. 1 month from now, you'll either be exactly where you are, following the crowd, choosing comfort over growth, picking entertainment over education, or you'll be on your way to developing the habits of truly successful people. The choice is yours. But remember this: every successful person started exactly where you are right now. They just made different decisions about how to spend their time, money, and energy. Your journey to success starts today. Right now. Let's build these wealthy habits together. If this video opened your eyes about wealthy habits, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our Prosper family. We're all about sharing real strategies for real success. Drop a comment below, sharing which wealthy habit you're starting with. I read every comment and love hearing your transformation stories. Hit that notification bell to make sure you never miss our next video about building wealth and success. Until next time, this is Prosper, helping you build a richer life, one smart habit at a time.